This is the Nightshade Cult, a podcast macabre.
We bid you welcome. Enter freely and of your own will.
I'm Nick Grimm.
And I'm David Graves.
And we'll be your horror hosts for this dissection of David Cronenberg's 1986 science fiction body horror, The Fly.
Good evening.
Boy, I tell you what, this is a movie that haunted my childhood.
This is one of those movies that I definitely saw a bunch of times when I was young, because it was on cable.
Right.
And still, watching it through, I had forgotten more than I remembered.
Yeah. I went into it not really remembering the details, but kind of right before every horrific moment, I knew exactly what was going to happen, and I could see the image in my head, because I saw this movie probably when I was 7 years old, generously 8 years old, and a lot of this stuff, the Inside Out baboon, the arm breaking in the arm wrestling match, these images stayed with me for the rest of my life. And like, as they were coming up, I would be like, oh no, that thing's going to happen. And I could see it in my mind's eye before the horrific image happened.
Yeah, I guess that kind of adds a little bit of, I don't know, it adds a little bit of extra experience to watching it.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
I know that there are things that I watch, I've rewatched or whatever from a long time ago, and oftentimes it doesn't hold up. But sometimes, even if it's not that good, I still like it because I have those feelings
because of those things. Yeah. Oh, for sure. And then sometimes, like this, it actually is that good.
Yeah, it's like, kind of crazy.
Yeah, and it's like, oh man, this is a really good movie, but it is repulsive. Like this is so horrific.
It's pretty repugnant. Like this is Jeff Goldblum at his best.
Oh, for sure.
This is height of Goldblum.
There was one of the behind the scenes thing I saw. It was I think it was one of the producers, and they were hanging around. No, it wasn't a producer. I think someone involved in the movie, but not David Cronenberg. Maybe it was the editor. And they were hanging around at the test screening, and one of the audience members came out and said, "Were you involved in making this movie?" And he said, "Yeah, I was." And he goes, "People should not be allowed to make movies like this." And I was like, wow, that's harsh. Like, that's really strong. But
I didn't think it was that scary.
Yeah, but it's not... not that it's like scary. There's a sense of dread. I wouldn't say that it's scary, but it is repulsive. Like it's
I would call it more gross than scary.
Yeah, and it's more just like upsetting, and disturbing. But not scary. There's a jump scare here and there, but it's more like psychologically troubling.
Yeah, this movie did really well. Yeah. It was made for somewhere between $9 and $15 million. I don't know why they don't have that nailed down.
It has because how much promotion cost and things like that is always a little nebulous.
The American Film Institute calls it $10 million.
Okay,
so we'll go with that.
Sure.
And the box office was $60 million, so that's pretty good.
As long as
6 times your money.
Yeah, you're doing really good.
Because it almost takes double your money to really make it all back if you consider that the theaters keep half of it or whatever, and so if you don't double the money of the budget, you're almost not making money because promotion, theaters, and all that stuff. But they firmly were. It was a commercial hit. In fact, this was the biggest commercial hit of Cronenberg's career.
Yeah, before and after, probably.
Yeah,
right?
he never topped this with regard to like percentage or whatever. Like, he just. It was his top movie, and it is the only movie in his filmography that ever had an Oscar associated with it, and it wasn't to him. Yeah, it was for best makeup.
Yeah, well deserved.
Yeah, Chris Wallace and Stephen Dupuis. So that was one of those ones where it surprised me that Cronenberg had never even got a nomination.
It's because he doesn't make crowd-pleasing movies. He makes upsetting movies, and I think that's always going to work against you with Academy voters.
Yeah, there were some later movies that he did. I did a little bit of digging that where there were nominations, but not for him.
Right.
But for actors and stuff, but not for him.
There was quite a bit of... Gene Siskel, in particular, felt that Jeff Goldblum got overlooked when it came to nominations for this movie, and thought he gave one of the best performances of the year.
Yeah, I could get behind that. I also think that this is an interesting movie that this is in a very rare club. Mm-hmm. The club of where the sequel absolutely buries the source.
Yeah.
This one and maybe The Thing from John Carpenter.
Yeah, and Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah, there's not very many where the remake just destroys the original.
Yeah. People almost don't remember the original.
Yeah.
Certainly The Thing is in that category too, where and that's a Howard Hawks movie. Legendary director in his own right, and that is just completely erased by John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah, it's also really interesting that Mel Brooks produced this.
Yeah, this is
Mel Brooks of all people.
Yeah, he The Elephant Man, which he produced for David Lynch. He was very low key. I mean, it's under his card is like Brooks Productions.
Yeah,
but it doesn't really have the Mel Brooks name all over it because he didn't want people to get the wrong idea and think it was a comedy.
I guess he was just a horror aficionado.
Yeah, and he liked directors and used his power, his Hollywood power, responsibly.
Yeah,
and by all accounts, was a champion of David Lynch and David Cronenberg, gave them all the leeway they needed to get the projects done the way they wanted to. Like, really good superstar producer that's not trying to put his handprints all over it.
Yeah, that's really cool. And supposedly Mel Brooks is the one that coined the tagline, "Be afraid, be very afraid."
Oh, see, I'm going to give a counter theory on that. What I had heard was that they had not considered that for a tagline until Gina Davis said it. And then they're like, that's good, we should put it on the poster.
Maybe this quote from an interview isn't that he created that line, it's that he championed it as a marketing thing.
Oh, that could be somewhere between the two stories we find reality.
That sounds right, because he's savvy. He knows how to market a movie, so when he hears something that he knows will sell, he goes with it.
That makes total sense. Yeah, Mel Brooks, producer. I think he produced at least one other movie besides this one and The Elephant Man. But I mean, even if it was just those two classics of the era.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have to justify his existence, and he did a great.
No. Yeah, he made Young Frankenstein. He eats for free forever.
Yeah, I think that is pretty cool that his name was not on in the big letters and stuff. He was tasteful. It's always, he's the opposite of the Tom Cruise who will come in and ruin a thing.
Yeah,
with his presence
and take it all over and center himself in it.
Yeah, he just teabags everything.
Yeah. No, his. That's not the Brooks production way. Luckily, yeah. So. Almost Cronenberg was not the director. He was, I think, their first choice, but he was busy when they first came to him. He was busy working on Total Recall, which ultimately Paul Verhoeven ends up directing. I don't know the whole story of why Total Recall fell apart for Cronenberg, but the director they went to instead of him had a family tragedy and had to step away from the project. And so they went back to Cronenberg, and Total Recall had fallen apart. And so, okay, now I do have time to do The Fly, but I want to rewrite it.
Yeah.
And so he totally rewrote the script.
Barely used any of the original.
Yeah. But did when it came down to arbitration, and maybe we're jumping the gun a little here, but he fought for Charles Edward Pogue to get the co-writing credit, even though he did a complete rewrite on it. Or maybe not fought is the right word, but he went to the guild and advocated for him to get co-credit.
I think that's ethical.
Yeah, that's real stand-up stuff.
If somebody writes something and you do an overhaul, you still aren't doing an original piece.
Yeah.
The overhaul isn't an original.
If he had been a more selfish writer, what you do is you push for written by for you, and you give a story by credit to the other person.
Yeah.
And he probably would have won that if he'd gone to arbitration with it, but he was not even interested in that. Good. Cronenberg's a Canadian. They're polite by nature and
nice guy.
not what's the word? Not proud, boastful people necessarily. They're more generous and share nicely.
Most Canadians.
Yeah, most Canadians. Not all of them. Yeah, the World Cup has shown us some ungracious Canadians also. But yeah, so we're I think we're anxious to get into this. So why don't we roll the music and we'll come back with the dissection. A journalist falls in love with the quirky scientist she's profiling. Tragedy ensues when he recklessly experiments on himself and inadvertently splices his genes with the houseflies.
That was, I think you're using the word love generously. I don't know if they fell in love.
I think they fell, yeah. And I believe the love story of this movie. And maybe that's, a lot of that comes down to the real life chemistry of Gina Davis and Jeff Goldblum, who were in a relationship at the time. But I don't think any of this, so much of it does not happen if they're not in love with each other. She doesn't keep coming back if she's not in love with him. Sure.
Yeah, the love story didn't really land very well with me.
Really?
I thought it was kind of... neither of them were behaving like a person. I don't know.
Like a real person?
Yeah, like they weren't behaving like real people. Especially, like they were both, unless they're just immature, shitty people to each other.
Well, let's, this is storytelling stuff. And let's, before we get too far, directed by David Cronenberg, screenplay by Charles Edward Pogue and David Cronenberg, and edited by Ronald Sanders. We drop right in, like this movie starts sort of media res at a party at the first meeting of Ronnie and Seth Brundle.
Yeah.
And he's putting his awkward nerd moves on her, and she's looking for a story.
Yeah.
So neither one of them is coming from a, like, I'm going to fall in love with this person position.
What was it with movies in the 80s and reporters? I swear, reporters were everywhere in movies in the 80s.
Reporters is a good sort of plot device because it gives you like a reason to investigate the
like
story.
A person who's just like unreasonably nosy.
Yeah. And is trying to figure things out and can explain it to the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, reporters are useful characters for that.
Nowadays it would be an influencer.
Oh God. It's hard to imagine an influencer version of the Fly.
Yeah, Fly. We should script out Fly 2030.
I mean, there's just no reason for anyone but Brundle. If it's an influencer version, like he's just live streaming all of this stuff as he does it.
Yeah, so maybe the second character would actually be like his stalker.
Oh yeah.
And he actually connects with them.
That could be, just like, I recognize that from the background, and that's this warehouse in Toronto.
Oh, yeah, they sleuth it out. Use AI, find that shit.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, there's something there. There's something there.
Not something I want to write.
Yeah, but so you don't think, because the way I see, it moves faster than normal, and it doesn't start. I mean, for her, she's there in a mercenary capacity at the beginning.
Yeah,
but he is sort of just weirdly charming in that way that Jeff Goldblum is.
Yeah,
and I feel like she gets taken in by him, like she starts out sort of like taking him in a weird way, and then she is drawn into his influence.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like unreasonable that he would continue talking to her after she's like, "Oh no, I'm definitely revealing your stuff to the world. Like I'm screwing you over."
Yeah. But he makes a good pitch to her. Well, he says the magic word, cheeseburgers, and they go out to maybe Canadian Burger King, whatever it is, and he's like, "Don't write an article, write a book and publish it when I'm done, and you have full access." And in a mercenary sort of capacity, that is better than an article.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just didn't land with me.
Yeah, interesting.
I thought that they were not, like, it felt contrived. It didn't feel real.
Really?
It felt on the level of like watching Batman, like when when Michael Keaton is like having his romance stuff.
Right.
It felt fake like that.
Interesting. I can see that. I don't. That's not my take on it, because I think the two of them, maybe just because of the real relationship, I think they even got married at some point. But I think their real chemistry comes through kind of in all of these scenes. And this is like maybe it's the second movie they did. I feel they did three or maybe even 4 movies together. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm bringing that with me to it. That I know.
Maybe you have the preconceived notion that they love each other.
Yeah, it could be. That could be my sort of confirmation bias. But for me, their relationship totally works. Although it is very fast moving.
Yeah, it's fast moving, and both of them are kind of crappy to each other.
Yeah. Before he turns himself into the Fly, how is he crappy to her?
So she starts crappy and then becomes good.
Right.
He starts nice and becomes crappy.
Yeah.
They cross over.
Yeah, because once he passes through the machine in sort of a jealous fit, he immediately acts like he's on cocaine. Like that's sort of the first scene when you see him when they go to the coffee shop in the next morning, and he's just spun out. He's just like talking a mile a minute and monologuing about rebirth and all of this stuff, pouring just like buttloads of sugar into his coffee. And I was like, oh, this is what it's like having a conversation with someone on cocaine. Like, and I was like, he's doing coke, like the coked up, the upward part of the coke binge thing where the person feels like a golden god. And then we get into the crash out part of the cocaine where they start becoming the worst asshole in the world.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of interesting how they did cross over. Like I started off not liking her and liking him, and then by the end I liked her and I didn't like him. But also I think kind of like through the whole movie there's no sympathetic characters to me in general. I'm just like, man, I just don't like you guys. I don't like. Oh, wow. I don't like. I don't like the scientist. He's Brundle is a bad scientist. He's terrible. Yeah. He doesn't keep notes. He doesn't have procedures. He doesn't use a scientific method. I mean, come on. He uses his stuff for show to pick up chicks, and then he does it on himself.
Yeah.
He's what the hell?
He's reckless. He's mad. He's a mad scientist. That's the connectivity to the original Fly. Is our guy in that movie
Also a mad scientist.
Also was reckless. I feel like Seth is a lot more empathetic than our character from the original.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's sort of likably weird in the beginning.
And Brundle, like when he, ruins that first baboon and turns him inside out.
Mm-hmm.
He's legitimately remorseful. It's not like when the guy vaporized his cat and he's like, "Oh, it'd be funny if it wasn't so sad." No emotion.
Yeah,
he's actually distraught that he killed it. He killed an animal, and he shows it emotionally. But we talked about this last episode.
Yeah,
it's absolutely crazy to jump to transporting primates before you've done mice or something like the sort of typical things that you do experiments
You
on.
start with some earthworms, and then you start, you work
simple
your way up.
organisms, not like something, with emotions and a developed limbic system like a baboon.
Yeah, I don't know. My personal connection with the character is not super relevant, but I think that there was a better storytelling thing going on here if you look a little deeper about how this is kind of about the AIDS epidemic.
Yeah.
And about this is like metamorphosis, like Kafka's story. And so it's just one of those deals where it's like this is really about degeneration.
Yeah.
This is about slowly falling apart. Like it's couched in a sci-fi horror, but it's about, it could be about AIDS. He said it's about his own father dying of cancer.
Yeah.
It could be about aging. It could be about anything. It's where you go from being that charming, lovable, nice, whatever, to being a monster, and then you're dead.
Yeah. And so what I had heard was Cronenberg, the AIDS allegory was not intentional, but he also thinks that's a totally valid interpretation.
Yeah.
Like he's like, that's not where my head was at, but that is a completely legitimate read on it. Because it's 1986 when this comes out, and he has that line about it's manifested itself as a weird sort of cancer.
Yeah.
Which was what, in the early days of the AIDS epidemic, that's what you would hear. They would say it's like a gay cancer. When they didn't know what they were talking about. And it would be impossible to not draw that parallel in that time period if you were plugged in at all.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And as a as a piece of art, especially coming from the mid '80s, it's poignant as hell.
Yeah, well, I mean, and not just that, also with how it deals with abortion too.
Oh yeah,
very front and center, and it's a dream sequence version of it, but they even show an abortion procedure, or a sort of nightmare take on one.
Yeah. Literally a nightmare.
Yeah, and it's like that's a very political statement. It would be now, and it especially is in 1986.
I mean, would it be more then than now? Because now it's pretty huge.
Yeah, I mean, actually, abortion was much more legal in 1986. Yeah. It's weird. We're
post Roe.
They were further. I feel like they were further past the decriminalization of abortion. We are closer to the recriminalization of abortion now than they were to the decriminalization.
Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I feel like this is from a story perspective, this movie is really interesting. I also really like how, if you just analyze this from a kind of a writing perspective, it has such a clean 3-act structure.
Yeah.
This screenplay is set up textbook. It's written by an expert in making a movie.
Yeah, it is a tight kind of 90 minutes. I think the original version of the screenplay from Pogue had a lot more characters in it. He strips it out to where it's basically a three-hander. There's just 3 characters in this movie.
Yeah.
And it is just lean and mean. It just cooks right along. It never really slows down for any length of time.
This is like the sort of thing you could go and see on Broadway.
Yeah, you could make The Fly on stage.
Yeah,
I imagine, because there's not that many places. There's Seth's.
There's like
office,
the lab,
his not office, but like his loft / live workspace.
Yeah,
there's her apartment, and there's the publishing.
Yeah, that's it. There's really 3 sets.
Yeah, you could do that pretty easily.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for how tight and how streamlined and how well just sort of crafted it was. I think that Cronenberg really had a lot of discipline with that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of times we're watching these movies from this period, or even like now, where movies have kind of become long, bloated. Where 3-hour movies are very normal.
Yeah,
watching a tight 90 that's so economical and just sort of drops you in at the start of the story. The story starts when these 2 people meet, and it ends when one of them dies, and it rolls credits as soon as he's dead. You know what I mean? So
you just don't need more. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's like it drops you in right when they first start talking to each other, and it ends with Brundle getting shot, and it's like done. And it's like no one tells the movie like that anymore. Like, now we have like 45 minutes of build up to them meeting that comes before, and then 20 minutes of denouement afterwards to explain what happened.
I hate that.
And it's like, this is like a different kind of storytelling that we have drifted away from it. And it's really refreshing when you watch it.
You know what movie is super tight like this and deserves more love than it gets?
Dune Part 2.
No, that's a good one. No. Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
It's so tight.
That's a tight movie for sure.
It's so good.
Yeah, I love Dune Part 2, but it's the opposite. It's the 3-hour movie I was talking about.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm in it for certain properties. I'm in it forever.
Yeah, that's true too. Like, sometimes a 3-hour movie isn't enough time.
Yeah, sometimes I just want to live on Arrakis for longer than 3 hours.
Yeah. My Dune, my Arrakis. Yeah. But this, I felt like, was like perfect. It was the perfect length. It's so weird how it's almost the exact same length as the 58, The Fly, but doesn't have any of the slosh, any of the stodgy middle part of that movie. It just trucks.
Yeah, it just basically, it just cuts everything. And man, I'm such a fan of cutting things. Yeah. Like, not to make it about me, but I feel like cutting is easy for me because I like streamlined things.
Yeah.
Some people, like filmmakers, authors, songwriters, whatever, they just want everything to drag. Like a songwriter that's like, I love this riff, I'm going to play it 9 times in the song. Bro.
Yeah.
I'm not one, like, I'm not some great composer, but I know that's too much.
Right.
Go and listen to the Ramones. Yeah. I don't even like them, but they'll tell you how to write a song.
Yeah. Yep. I get, Ramones, totally. Yeah. 3 minutes. A 3-minute punk rock song is the equivalent of the 90-minute movie.
Exactly. It's got to be tight.
Yeah. And it's, there are some deleted scenes. There was some more epilogue stuff. There was a scene where, because he gets the idea, there's the part where you see Brundle, he's like, how to minimize the amount of fly in his DNA, and the computer says to cross himself with another human, right?
Yeah.
That way he could maximize human DNA. And he did another experiment in some cut of the movie where I think maybe he crossed the baboon with a cat or something along those lines. And it went over very badly in the test screenings. And so that was excised from the movie.
Would you watch an extended cut with all that extra stuff?
I mean, for science, yes. But I don't want to see any more animal suffering.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So The first baboon dying already traumatized me too much, and I was always wondering, after the second baboon, we don't see him again, in the later half of the movie. I do wonder what happened to him, and I'm happier just with that he went to a farm upstate.
Yeah, he left.
I don't really want to see
he's now free living in the city.
He was made into a horrible cat baboon monster that died painfully. Like, I don't need that. I don't know where to talk about the baboon, what section, maybe under performance. I'll hold the baboon for performances.
Okay.
Because I love the baboon.
Of course you do.
A lot. And there's funny anecdotes about him. So we'll come back to that. The other sort of theme that I don't think we've touched on is mental illness, particularly like bipolar disorder, because he has these manic depressive episodes. And I think in a weird way, they portrayed that in a very realistic way. Like the way he behaves if he was not a mutant fly man is very much the way someone with a personality disorder behaves. Yeah,
I mean, I have a pretty accurate picture of that, having grown up with a bipolar parent. Yeah, for sure. It's absolutely just like that. It's like Superman versus just the dumps.
Right.
And yeah, it's hard. It's hard to, or like you show up and it's like, it's one of those days. I better be minimal. I better.
He's walking around on crutches and he's telling me how he's going to die. And next time I come over, he's crawling on the ceiling.
Yeah, it's like, okay, it's a good day. Party on. Yeah. It's one way or the other.
Do we have anything else in the storytelling?
Let's head on to visuals.
Cinematography by Mark Irwin.
Yeah.
Production design by Carol Spear. Costume design by Denise Cronenberg. That's Dennis Cronenberg's sister, or David Cronenberg, excuse me. And creature makeup by Chris Wallace and Stephen Dupuis, which of course they won the Academy Award for.
Yeah, they're made men, Hollywood royalty.
Is a fully animatronic puppet makeup? I don't know about that.
Did they only do that, or did they not? They did him too, right?
Yes, but I think that is what Chris Wallace really did, was the puppet stuff.
And Dupuis did the stuff on Goldblum.
Yeah, I believe so. And if I'm reversing that, get at me in the comments, cultists. But I think I got.
Well, I mean, Chris Wallace and Stephen Dupuis will get at us in the comments.
Yes, please do. And
tell us about it.
Call us.
We'll do an interview.
Yeah, we'd love to talk to you. Tell us all about this. I think that's one of those things. The Academy doesn't know what to do with some of these special effects, and so they just go makeup. They just kind of lump that all in together, and this is so much more than makeup.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool that they built the final Brundlefly first, and then they reverse engineered it backwards in 7 steps or 6 steps.
Yeah.
So there are like these evolutions of Brundlefly.
It's funny, before they had cast Jeff Goldblum, Cronenberg had asked, like, what's your ideal subject to put the makeup onto? And they're like, someone not too tall, small nose, flat face, like all these things. And it's like they cast super tall guy, big schnoz, like
angular face,
absolutely the opposite of their ideal makeup subject. So like they cast someone with a lot of face and a lot of body to deal with. But
sounds like they wanted like Jackie Chan.
Yeah, they want a little guy with like a lot of room to interpret on his face. But yeah, they cast the right guy.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Some of these other cool effects, and one of the things that always just stuck with me, the melting hand on Stathis at the end, when Brundlefly spits on Stathis's hand and melts it, and then spits on his leg and melts his foot off.
That was by that point in the movie, I had been rooting against Brundlefly for so long. Mm-hmm. I felt weird rooting for him because I hated Stathis more.
Stathis is so awful, and that's one of like, it's so weird because those scenes in particular really haunted me as a kid because it's horrific.
Absolutely.
But even at 7, 8 years old, I hated that guy so much. Like, I mean, not that I didn't understand the way he violates her boundaries or consent or any of those concepts.
Power dynamics, because he's her boss.
He was her teacher, and then he was her boss. So he's like a double groomer, exploiter. Yes.
I mean,
all of that stuff. I didn't understand why any of that was wrong, but I remember as a little kid being happy when Brundlefly spits on him, and thinking he deserved it. And so, coming back to it, it's still horrific, but I still, even though he does sort of come through for her at the end, he is such a despicable guy throughout the whole movie that you'd think he deserves it when he loses his hand.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I wanted the Fly to spit in his face.
That was sort of my recollection, was that he killed him. I was sort of surprised he makes it through to the end of the movie.
Yeah, fucking guy. I definitely don't like that guy.
Oh God. It's when she comes home, this is more storytelling, but when she comes home and he's showering in her apartment, just because he's basically marking his territory because she's moving on and he doesn't like it. Despicable, man. And then he won't give her the key back. He is just bad fucking dude.
My mind goes dark places when I see stuff like that. I'm like, I have guns.
Yeah.
Why isn't she doing something about this? Because if someone's in your house, you got to eject them or call the cops. If you can't do it yourself, you call the cops.
Yeah, but he's got her in this fucked up position where he's her editor.
I know I mean, not to get too deep into this.
Yeah.
He's a rapist.
It's impossible to give consent.
Yes. In our state, I don't know about the state laws of elsewhere, but I've recently did a seminar taught a seminar on this. There are certain criterion that if you do not meet them, you cannot legally give consent. If there is an inverse power dynamic, the person cannot legally give consent. Yeah. So therefore, even if she said yes, he's raping her.
Yeah, because
it's not right.
There is always the potential for the threat.
Absolutely.
I could take your job away, and he does threaten her with it.
And he actually does. So I'm just thinking, watching this, I'm like, who makes a fucking movie like this? This guy's terrible. And she tolerates it because she's a victim and she's abused, and I understand that's a whole thing. It's really hard to get out of, but fuck, man, it's not happy to watch.
No, let's all of the ways that Stathis fucks up here. He was her professor in school, and he was the one that pushed her. She was a science major, and he pushed her to get into journalism. So that's the start of the grooming. Then she gets into journalism, and he is in a position where he is her boss. They have a relationship that they break off that he will not let go of. He stalks her.
He harasses her at work. He
harasses her. He invades her personal space. He routinely violates boundaries that she's trying to set. He's just fucking awful all the way up until the end of the movie, where he finally comes through for her. But it is arguably still because he has something to gain from it. Yeah,
he's still treating her like a possession.
Yes.
I'm going to go and kill the guy who is trying to steal my girl.
Yeah.
He doesn't do it for her, he does it for himself. And that's sort of one of the things that why I don't like watching movies from this era. The 80s are the worst.
Yeah.
What is it about the 80s and movies where guys are it's probably the height of creepitude in the 80s.
Well, it's certainly where these things are very normalized. Mm-hmm. And I think something that this movie has going for it that many, many others from the era don't is that it's clear you're supposed to root against this.
Yeah, you're supposed to dislike him.
Yeah, you're not ever... Well, I mean, there are times where he's more sympathetic than others, but in general, that he is behaving in a way that is wrong or aberrant is clear in the text. That's not just our modern woke interpretation. That is what we're shown.
So we're supposed to dislike Stathis for that. Yeah. But I think our modern eye sees that Brundle is also bad. He treats particularly Tawny not well.
Yeah.
He is not a good dude.
But that is no longer Seth Brundle. That is Brundlefly.
Sure.
And Brundlefly is... and he sort of realizes this. Brundlefly is not Seth Brundle.
Yeah, he's a new thing. He's a monster.
Yeah, Seth Brundle was atomized and did not come out the other end of the thing.
Yeah, he talks about it in the cafe or whatever. I think it's in the cafe where he's talking about how he's better, and then he tries to get Ronnie to go through because then she'll be better too. Yeah,
which the crazy thing is, she would hypothetically come through unchanged if the experiment was handled correctly and there was no other foreign bodies in there. There's no reason to think anything would go wrong.
But he wants to get in there with her.
Well, that's at the end.
Yeah.
Where he's like, we'll make a whole Brundlefly, Ronnie, baby, super mutant at the end. One happy family in one
body,
in one undulating repugnant body.
Oh, that's so gnarly.
Oh yeah, oof. Yeah, no, that is gnarly. Let's see, any other stuff from the visual we want to talk about? The visual of like the design of things. I think his live work loft apartment is very cool.
Yeah, reminds me of like Gotham.
Yeah, totally. The aesthetic of the telepods was inspired by the cylinder heads off of Cronenberg's Ducati.
Yeah, I saw that originally. I was like, oh, it's like a motorcycle engine, and then I read about it. Yeah,
it's got that. What do you call it? What do you call that?
Those are just heat diffusers.
Diffusers. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a cool industrial aesthetic. Like, it works. It looks sci-fi when you see it.
Yeah,
it looks
sure.
high tech.
The only thing I didn't like about the visuals of this movie was an intentional choice, and I actually respect that more.
Yeah,
they chose to light this movie brightly and not like a horror movie. They lit it warmly.
Yeah.
And they did not want to give away the horror by setting it in a horror-like setting.
Yeah.
And
it sort of starts almost rom-com.
It definitely looks like an 80s rom-com to start off with.
But it's full horror by the end. It does get a horror aesthetic as it goes on, I think.
It gets darker and darker as Brundlefly lives in darkness more.
Yeah.
But I think that it was strange not to make this movie look like a horror movie.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it's a horror movie.
It is. It's, but it's certainly the first half, there's really not really any horror. Up until, our first sort of taste of horror is the Inside Out baboon.
Yeah.
And then from there on, it just ratchets up dread and darkness and uncomfortable imagery after that.
Yeah, and did you know, on a different visual subject, that Goldblum's mullet is not real?
Wow.
He wore a hairpiece, a mullet fall, because Cronenberg thought his face was narrow and he wanted to add more volume to the profile.
Wow. Right choice, because he's so majestic looking with the mullet. Mm-hmm. Like his sort of shoulder or some mid-length wavy dark hair makes him look like a Greek statue, or like Da Vinci, like the Vitruvian Man. Like,
yeah, I just thought that was so crazy because I thought that was real because it's the 80s.
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't. The back half was fake.
That's so weird because that's what my sort of the vision I have of Jeff Goldblum in the 80s is this version of him from the Fly. And he's got a luscious curls.
See, when you say Jeff Goldblum, the image that's conjured to my mind is from Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, that's a good one too. I like Jeff Goldblum in a whole lot of movies.
Yeah, he's pretty darn good.
Yeah, there's kind of a weird thriller comedy from around this time period called Into the Night with him and Michelle Pfeiffer, where he's like kind of the square and she's this cool jewel thief.
Yeah, I remember seeing that actually back in the day because it was on cable.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum, a lot of good movies. Jurassic Park is another one.
It's all right. Might have heard of it.
You may have heard of this 5-star masterpiece. But another iconic image of Jeff Goldblum, the open shirt, kind of laying on his side like I don't know, David Bowie on the Diamond Dogs album cover. Yeah, like so many iconic Jeff Goldblum images.
So you want to go into audio?
Let's talk audio. So our supervising sound editors are David Evans and Wayne Griffin, and the score is by the great Howard Shore
of Lord of the Rings fame.
Sound design. Woof. Gross sounds in this movie. Just horrific, stomach-turning.
The wet, organic, kind of squelching, textural sounds that just... The sounds themselves give you images.
Yeah. No, it's... The sounds from this movie are as upsetting as the visuals. And these guys, they should have got nominated for an Academy Award, too, because... This is some intense, visceral sound design. Yeah.
I think that the score, while not on the Lord of the Rings level, quite good.
It's good. I've listened a few times. It's big. It's epic, soaring, like definitely shades of what's to come with his Lord of the Rings scores. Like, this guy... knows how to like raise the mood and raise tension and tell you what to feel with the music.
Absolutely.
So yeah, like in the opening credits when I saw that original music by Howard Shore or however it was credited to him, I was like, oh shit, this is gonna have good music. It's like there's certain names, Howard Shore, Danny Elfman, certain names when I see those in the credits.
Junkie XL.
Yeah. Tom Hulkenborg. Yeah, he doesn't go by Junkie XL anymore.
Hey, yeah. I mean, unless he said don't call me that anymore, then we still call him that.
So, Junkie XL or Tom Hulkenborg, whichever name you put on it. Yes, I agree. Bear McCreary, some of these guys, it's like, I see that name and I'm like, oh, we're in for a treat. This is going to have some good tunes.
You know who should do more soundtracks? The dude who did Bone Tomahawk. Because that was better than it had any right to be.
Who was also the director of Bone Tomahawk.
Had better than any right to be.
I've listened to that score a ton, actually. Like, I've listened to it so much. Every time when you were sending me chapters of your Western book, I would put that score on while I was reading them.
Oh, nice.
So that is, to me, that's the soundtrack to Cold Iron Blood as well as to Bone Tomahawk.
It's interesting because I listen to certain music when I'm working on certain projects. So,
cool.
Yeah.
What did you listen to while you're writing that book? Sidebar.
Not Western music, believe it or not. I listen to... sad boy gothic music.
Oh, that works too.
Yeah,
that also fits.
Like
fits
Joy Division and that kind of thing.
I can see that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about this other than the sound and the music is excellent.
Yeah, it's good. It's hard to talk more about it. The sound design, it's so integrated with the action and the horror of the movie.
Yeah,
it can't really be spoke of separately.
Yeah. Oh God, like. she brings he's eating and he's full, like he's well down the road to Brundlefly, and he's not used to having someone around, and he vomits his enzymes onto the food, and she's repulsed, and he has that moment of like, oh no, that's disgusting. Like, and he's ashamed. The bleh sound is so like it just makes you want to puke.
Absolutely.
Great segue into performances. First up,
Jeff Goldblum,
Seth Brundle and Brundlefly. What a powerhouse performance. It's like 3-4 characters.
Yeah, this is like a one-man show. Not a one-man show, but he carries the whole movie on his shoulders.
Yeah.
He really, really did something with this movie, how he played a charismatic, kind of optimistic, almost naive seeming scientist, all the way to being just this way down the rabbit hole monstrous horror beast.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And like he'll go back from scary to sympathetic, kind of back and forth. You know, he in the first part of the transformation looks godly, and then he is degenerates into being a wretched creature. And it doesn't take a ton of makeup. So much of that is in his performance. And then the makeup just accentuates it more and more.
Yeah, this movie really kind of made him a leading man, made him a movie star.
Oh, for sure.
Not just a character actor.
Yeah, and it's just a powerhouse performance. But you're right, it's not a one-man show. It's really a two-hander between him and Gina Davis as Veronica Quaife.
No idea.
I don't know how we're supposed to say it. They usually call her Ronnie, so that's the name that stuck with me. She also gives quite a powerhouse performance. She goes on an arc where she goes in there really, like I said at the beginning, with sort of mercenary intention to get a story out of this guy, and ends up kind of enmeshed in his tragedy and really torn between her love for him and self-preservation and things like that. Really strong performance from Gina Davis also, and this also does sort of like she has several credits before this, but this does sort of skyrocket, like really launch her acting career as a leading lady after this too.
Yeah, 2 years later she won an Oscar for The Accidental Tourist.
Yeah.
So yeah,
which she was reading that book while they're making this movie.
Yeah, and you know how the Academy works. Like the one you get the award for wasn't all. It's kind of summative.
It's often not your best performance.
Yeah. They know when you're owed.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's pretty fair. So it's really a two-hander between the two of them, and they both give just really strong performances, and they feed off of each other. And actors always say when someone's a generous partner, they're both very generous partners to the other one. Their performance is enabled by the strong performance of the other person.
And the only other performance of note really was John Getz, who played Stathis Borans, who's just the film's creepo, power mongering, terrible human being.
Such a fucking creep. Just like the very worst creep. And the way when he stalks her, right? Because he camps outside of Brundle's warehouse and then follows her to the haberdasher when she leaves to go and buy him a cool bomber jacket because it's 1986.
Dude, it's 2026 and a bomber jacket is cool.
It's still cool, yeah. Or is cool again. One or the other.
I think it's been cool the whole time.
Yeah. And he causes a big fucking scene in the clothes store, and it's just like cringy and embarrassing for her, for him. This guy really goes for it with playing a cringy creep.
The actor did a great job. The writers did a great job.
Yeah.
They made him horrible.
Fucking awful guy.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's a few other people like Joy Bushell as Tawny, the barfly that he picks up. Mm-hmm. David Cronenberg cameos as the gynecologist in the nightmare sequence. I wanted to talk about the baboon. So I don't know what the cultists know about primates. An adult male baboon is a very dangerous animal, and they're not easy to control. And you wouldn't normally do something like this with a baboon. It's a volatile animal. But it loved Jeff Goldblum. And so there was basically only two people that could get near it, the trainer and Jeff Goldblum. And
because it totally gave him a hug and stuff.
It fucking loves him, and that comes through in the movie. Like, and the baboon does some acting, like because before the scene where he goes through the telepause for the first time, that baboon sees the fly and follows it around, and like gives a pretty good animal performance. Like nowadays, you would do a CG baboon. You would never put a live baboon in this situation for many reasons. ASPCA doesn't really
so
like
there's
that
a lot
stuff.
of reasons to not, but that baboon was awesome, whereas like the wolves in Frankenstein, no.
I rejoice that we treat animals better now, but I do miss actual animal performances in movies.
Yeah.
Like that, not to tangent too far, they did like White Fang or like one of those Jack London books.
With Call of the Wild or whatever.
Yeah, one of them with a CGI dog. And it's just like,
watch it.
No, the trailers just looked awful to me. It's like, no, you won't get me just with Harrison Ford and a CGI dog is not going to get me into the movie theater.
Harrison Ford just wanted a paycheck.
Yeah. He's earned it. He can just collect paychecks from here on to Valhalla. Anyone else we want to talk about? No.
I think that there's an interesting casting stuff that there were a lot of people, real big names that were they tried to get for this movie, but they passed. Like Mel Gibson, Michael Keaton, John Malkovich, John Lithgow, James Wood, Richard Dreyfuss, and Pierce Brosnan all considered the movie and ultimately passed. The closest one was actually Mel Gibson, but he passed because it was filming at the same time as Lethal Weapon.
Oh, right choice. Right.
Yeah,
he made the right choice because that's
absolutely
that's a real career.
Do you want to be like an action movie guy or like a weird transformation horror movie guy?
Yeah.
You go action movie. It pays more.
Yes. And, the career path that he was on, that was the right move. I'm looking at IMDb. The baboon's name is Typhoon. I have not...
I mean, that's a great name for a baboon.
Typhoon the baboon is... that's a children's book. Just like right there sitting on the shelf. I'm glad he has a credit. What other movies is he in? I'm not going to go too far down this rabbit hole. But what other movies is Typhoon in?
I don't know, but I think
he's got a few.
I think animal actors are underrated.
Yeah, he's a working ass baboon.
Must have been friendly.
Yeah, I mean, if any baboon is friendly, that was a friendly one for sure. He gives hugs. What was your personal highlight?
So I was searching my mind and searching this movie, trying to figure out what stood out as the best part. Aside from them, melting the shitbird's hands and whatnot, I decided on the bar scene with the arm wrestling.
Oh,
I love that scene because it's gnarly.
Oh, it's fucking
and it's in
brutal.
Brundlefly while he's still in superhero mode. And he just tears the guy's hand off, just breaks the arm. It's so gnarly. It's absolutely, he's drunk on power.
Uh-huh. That guy was a famous Canadian boxer too.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, just the sickening crack of the arm with the like you see the bone split and all of that. That's just a really good scene.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. I am like cringing. I feel my butthole pucker just as you talk about it.
You can see it in your mind.
That image has been with me since I was 7 years old. It is like
you never arm wrestle anyone.
It is one of my. I mean, honestly, not just arm wrestling, but like anytime I see someone driving and they have their feet up on like the dashboard of the car.
Yeah.
Because that's the sort of injury you get if someone is in a car accident. Like that image, the compound fracture, the bone sticking through the skin has haunted my entire life. And that's a testament to, like you said, that is an incredible sequence because it has stuck with me forever.
Yeah. It's gnarly. So what about you? What's your personal highlight?
So I'm going to go with something a little lighter. My personal highlight is when Seth goes through the telepod.
Not Typhoon.
Well, Typhoon is good in this sequence.
He's in the scene,
because he Seth is talking to him the whole time, and the monkey is reacting, and the monkey is watching the fly, and the monkey sees the fly go in, but the monkey can't say anything, and the monkey doesn't understand anyway. But the monkey is our surrogate in the scene, and he tracks the fly through the whole thing. And so there's this like there's a sense of dread. This movie's called The Fly. We understand how he becomes the fly. It was a short story and a movie that we've seen before. We know this is going to happen, but there's still a dread to it. You don't want it to happen because he's drunk and he's feeling jealous, and he really doesn't have any reason to feel jealous. Ronnie's gone to kind of put her foot down with Stathis. She hasn't gone to go hook up with him.
Yeah.
And the Howard Shore score is really soaring in this part. And Seth comes out of the pod and just looks majestic. Like he's reborn. And that's how he feels like he's been reborn as a new man. And he looks like he has. He kind of went in a mouse and came out a god. And then this baboon, which like a baboon is like a symbol of virility. You know what I mean? So like the baboon jumps up and like honors him. Like he's the alpha. You know what I mean? Like it's very potent with symbolism, and the score is soaring, and it just seems triumphant. But for us, it is loaded with dread because you know that this is ultimately the start of his downfall. But he doesn't know it.
Yeah.
And so to me, like that, particularly the image of him coming out of the pod and sort of being reborn is sort of like one of the most crucial, iconic images of the movie.
Yeah.
What worked for you?
I mean, I think Jeff Goldblum's performance has to be mentioned. It's probably the strongest one in the movie. It's really, really good. I think the makeup was wonderful. Obviously, it won an Oscar.
Yeah.
It was super good to see the evolution of the Brundlefly.
Yeah,
I really liked that. I also think that, it's worth mentioning that this is better than the original. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's solid. And I think that this movie, more so than the original, makes it poignant with regard to allegory, like death, disease, devolving, death, the whole deal. It's got a lot more depth than the original, which was just a little bit campy and not very
just a creature feature.
Yeah. So I think that this had a lot more going for it.
For sure.
What about you? What were for you?
My first thing is the pacing. The movie doesn't waste any time, drops you in right at the start of their relationship, and ends with Brundlefly's death. It's just lean, mean, efficient storytelling. This is Hot Rod.
Mm-hmm.
They've stripped everything off that's adding weight, and you just race through 90 minutes. Nothing extra. And I think that's just really kind of exceptional filmmaking. The performances, none of this works if you don't invest in the characters, and our two leads just give really dynamic performances, very engaging. The relationship didn't really land for you, but it lands for me in a big way. I'm very kind of invested in their romance and sad at how it ends up. The body horror is absolutely repulsive. I said it at the beginning, I'll repeat it. This movie haunted my childhood. Like, this is a movie that has always stuck with me, these images.
You know, the understated body horror is the Ronnie body horror, being pregnant with a mutant.
None of that stuff lands for me as a kid.
That's so gnarly.
When you see it now, where she's like, I want it out of my body. Like, that's such an intense, visceral feeling, and like, Stathis doesn't understand it, right? He's like, hold on, let's just think about this and take some time. And she's like, no, there's a mutant fly thing inside of me and I want it out. This is an emergency. Mm-hmm. It needs to be done now.
Yeah.
And, you know, spoiler alert, there is a direct-to-video sequel to this movie that's all based on that child being born. Yeah. So she doesn't ever get it out of her, unfortunately.
And it wasn't a giant maggot.
No, but it does turn into a mutant baby, and she does die during childbirth. That's, spoiler for The Fly too.
That was universally panned.
Yes. No, I haven't watched it. Cultist Ted says it has some pretty cool monster effects in it, though.
Okay.
So I was at body horror, and I guess the final thing was, and you already said this, the strong thematics of the story, whether those are the intended ones like addiction, mental illness, abortion, cancer, or the unintended like the AIDS allegory that ends up being in there and is very poignant and thought-provoking. Like you said, this movie has just much more on its mind than the original film did.
Absolutely.
And that's part of what has made it stand the test of time. What didn't work for you?
So the opposite side of the double-edged sword of being lean and mean hot rod, where you strip everything out, is that lots of things feel thin.
Okay.
I feel like the supporting characterization is generally weak. For example, Stathis is just a one-dimensional kind of mustache twirling bad guy. I also feel like Ronnie is not a realized person.
No.
She's kind of a concept of a smitten lover who I don't know. She for a lady who was in college for science and switched to journalism and all of this, she just doesn't act very smart. And she doesn't, I don't know, it just didn't hit. Like, I feel like the characters got, she existed to be scared. Like, at the first half of the movie, she was there to be smitten.
Yeah.
The second half of the movie, she existed to be scared.
Yeah.
Stathis existed to be a bad guy.
Yeah.
The only character with any metamorphosis was of course Brundle.
Okay.
And the rest was thin. I think that in reading about this movie, I feel like some of the editing decisions that they made were sus, to say the least.
Really?
They cut a lot of horror material, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
They cut a lot of that, but they left in so many 80s skin scenes that were just fan service of the time.
Yeah.
It was just
you don't like the sex on the
how many times do they have to have sex? And then with Tawny and all this stuff, like, do we really need all this? How many times do I have to see Jeff Goldblum's butt? It's not.
How many times do you see it?
A few times.
I feel like there's only one real full-on butt shot for Jeff Goldblum. My recollection is there's one full butt shot of Jeff Goldblum and one side boob for Gina Davis.
I still think that they leaned in
we'll
on
consult Mr. Smith.
Yeah. They leaned in on the attempted romance.
Yeah.
Did not hit for me at all.
Okay.
And they basically they left that in favor of what the movie's about. It's a sci-fi horror.
Yeah.
And so they left in...
You think...
they left in the wrong parts.
You think they should have left more of that gnarly stuff in?
Oh, absolutely. Lean in. Don't lean into your strengths. Like the idea of lighting it so that it's not a horror movie when it's absolutely a horror movie.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Lean in, bro.
Okay.
And so that's just a fail. That was a fail on the editing, a fail on the lighting, and the whole mood. The movie looked like an 80s rom-com for the first half.
Yeah.
Give me a break. And it was like, it looked utterly wrong.
Okay.
Never scary, not a single time. Gross.
Yeah.
Never scary. The movie is not scary at all. It's just gross. And I don't really like gross.
Okay.
I don't really like body horror.
Yeah.
Because it's just a creep. It's like, I don't know if you've ever had an infection, like an infected wound where you have to like continue to go to the doctor and have it drained and like you're dealing with all this. It's so gross.
Right.
This was just that.
Yeah.
In movie form. It was just gross. And not a surprise. You know what's coming.
Okay.
It's like a slow motion wound. You're just like, fuck, man. This is sick. Ugh. Like, so I was like, this is a triumph on certain levels.
Yeah.
The writing of some of this stuff, like the allegories and the way that they make Brundle feel like he's truly evolving and devolving.
Yeah.
And the way that they have this really clean 3-act structure and all this stuff, it's so good. But then you're just like, more. Oh my God. Oh, more. Ugh. Gross. Ugh. God. Stathis again. Ugh. It was just like a groaner. Like, next scene, next scene, next scene, God damn it. You know, it was just like, I don't like this.
Oh, man.
So I just didn't want to watch this movie about the beginning of Act 3. I was like, oh, this movie is so gross. It sucks.
That is where it gets to, like... It gets very difficult to watch. Like, I was watching it with Lisa, and large sections of the movie, she just, like, had her head under the blanket and was, like, scrolling through Reddit on her phone.
Yeah, I mean...
And just listening to the horrible sounds, and I was like...
because there are no plot twists.
Yeah.
You know what's happening from the beginning.
Yeah, it's a slow motion
It's a
car wreck.
slow motion... I was going to say train wreck, but car wreck works.
Yeah.
And it just keeps going.
Yeah, it just presses ahead.
But it's mercifully only 90 minutes.
Yes, that's true.
So what about you? What didn't work?
Nothing. I have no criticisms for this movie at all.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like I wrote here that maybe something would come up throughout our discussion. I think it's a flawless movie. I think at times it is difficult to watch, but I don't consider that a flaw. I think that's the point of it. So yeah, like I'm squirming in my seat through big stretches of this movie, and I'm very uncomfortable. It's not an easy sit, but I think it is without reproach. I don't have anything negative to say about it.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we're going to come down, I think, in very different ways on this rating.
Absolutely.
What's your final thoughts and rating?
So here's the deal. I wouldn't recommend anyone watch this movie.
Yeah.
It's not a good movie to watch. I do think that it's foundational body horror movie that crushes the original.
Yeah.
I do think that Cronenberg wrote a really good script, and I think that it's tight and it moves. There's so many good things happening.
Right.
But I didn't like it.
Yeah, you had a bad time.
I just was like, fuck, I would rather be doing anything. Which is a 1.
Yeah.
But this is not a 1-star movie. I'm not an idiot. I know that. But I don't like it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it a 3.
Okay.
It's a movie. I won't watch this again.
You'll never watch it again.
No, it's just not enjoyable in the least. I couldn't find almost anything to enjoy.
Wow. Okay. Well, obviously, I'm planning on giving this 5 stars.
Yeah.
I think it's a perfect movie. I think it is the perfect version of what it is.
Dang, you thought those characters were good characters?
Yes.
Like,
I think the characters.
Oh man,
are
they're so
very
one-dimensional. They're just flat.
Yeah, I mean, like,
it's like watching a cartoon. Like they don't seem real to me.
Yeah, to me, I don't feel that way. I feel like you get everything you need to know about these people from what they say and do. Even just like Stathis pulling up in his Maserati, like, tells you a lot about who this guy is.
I mean, come on, nice cars. Nice people like nice cars sometimes.
No good people drive a European luxury car.
That's true.
I'm gonna stake my flag on that. No, that's not true. Some people must, but in general, if I see you driving a European luxury car, I know you're a monster. You have to redeem yourself from
I
that.
know you love this movie. I'm not going to try to tear it down in your mind. It's just crazy to me that you really enjoyed watching it because it's so cringy.
Well, I don't know that enjoyed is the right word. I just think it's great. That's not the same thing as enjoying, because like it is viscerally upsetting. It's like I literally was squirming in my seat watching this movie.
It's like getting served a meal that from a well-regarded chef, and you know that people like this food, and you eat it, and you're just like, blech.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's totally that, like, because something can be not to your taste and be like the perfect version of that thing.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
this is probably Cronenberg's of his whole filmography of. He doesn't like the word body horror, but it is what gets applied to him, and it feels very accurate. It is like his masterpiece of body horror, of a guy who made a career of body horror movies.
So I'm gonna give spoilers for The Vault of Darkness.
Okay,
I didn't like this movie.
Yeah,
but I knew Cronenberg is not a bad director.
Right.
So I searched his filmography for a movie I like.
Okay,
and that's what I'm pulling out of the vault.
Oh, okay. Well, place your bets now, Cultists, on which Cronenberg movie David likes.
Yeah. I mean, I like a lot of movies.
I've got a guess. I think I have a guess of which one.
And we'll hear you guess. See if you get it right.
You want me to guess before you... Yeah. That way
you can guess before I say it.
We'll know before.
Yeah. I got to give you the critical responses.
Yes.
I'm on the... I know I'm mostly on the wrong side of the law here. The world would probably give this a 4-star.
Yeah. Which ultimately, that's what we end up as a podcast giving it.
So Rotten Tomatoes gives it 93. That's a high water mark. But Metacritic gives it a 79. IMDb gives it a 7.6. And Letterboxd, probably the most reputable, 4.1.
Yeah.
So we're together along it. I don't like it. You really do.
Yeah.
But I recognize what it is.
Yeah.
I recognize that this is an excellent version of this. I just don't like this.
Yes. You're like, this is gross. I don't like eating it.
Yeah.
That's absolutely valid, because it is gross. And you shouldn't like eating it. Like, that's the thing. Like, it should be upsetting to watch.
So I've learned, I've learned through, reading reading stories, doing the Royal Road thing with my own writing, getting book recommendations from people online and stuff. There's a lot of people who like absolute suffering and darkness in their fiction.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them.
Yeah. No, I mean, as a general rule, I don't feel that I am either.
I like monsters.
Yeah.
But I don't think that is the same thing.
No, that's true. Yeah, because, normally I think we're more or less on the same page about
almost.
those things.
We normally have very similar ratings, but this one is a little different.
Yeah, we just split it. So we split the difference on this.
All right, I'll play the music. We'll come back with The Vault of Darkness and see if Nick can guess my Cronenberg movie.
Okay. Yeah, awesome. Before we delve into the Vault of Darkness, we ask that all initiates of the cult follow us on your favorite social media platforms at Nightshade Cult.
If you've enjoyed this content, help us grow the cult by sharing it with like-minded people, and leave us a review wherever you listen. Like, comment, and subscribe, because most of our listeners are on YouTube.
Okay. Smash that bell icon or whatever they say.
The comment is the best, but like is great too.
Yeah, and Cultists James and Lance are avid commenters. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Do you have any dark tidings?
No.
Are you watching the World Cup? The World Cup will be concluded by the time this episode comes out.
I would say I'm not actively watching the games, but I'm following the results.
Okay. Any predictions?
Oh man, it's tough. Hard not to think about Spain. I mean, my heart is for USA. And the knockouts. But Spain is probably my prediction.
Okay, Spain, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I root for the Netherlands. I was planning on rooting for the Aussies over the Americans.
Oh yeah, because of their beautiful slogans.
And gotta love the Aussies. But I was listening to the game on the radio, and that game was in Seattle, famously loud Seattle stadium.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't do it. I couldn't not root for the home team. Like once I heard like the Seattle crowd cheering them on, I was just like, yeah, I can't root against my own squad.
I'm an American. I'm voting for Team USA.
Reluctantly, I accept my nationality and I root for America. Japan has been great though too. Like the Japan-Netherlands game was beautiful. They fought each other to a draw.
Absolutely.
And I've just really enjoyed the Japanese and Korean teams and the way the Mexican fans have embraced them.
I'm always pro Team Mexico as well. I always follow Team Mexico. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if they go all the way. I'm not saying they're going to win it, but I think Mexico's got a really good chance.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of Team Mexico. If we're talking about what we're watching, also Season 3 of House of the Dragon just came out as we dropped this episode, and holy hell, that episode 1 is a 5 out of 5 episode.
Brutal.
That is gnarly, and it's good.
Yeah, that was...
It never stops.
There was some real, and I've read those books, but that was still like a nail biter.
And you know how old the dude who plays Corlys Velaryon is? The actor?
No.
How old would you say that dude is?
Are we... Well, let's see. What am I... By you asking, he's either much younger or much older than he looks like. I would say he looks like middle 50s.
Yeah, he's 77.
What?
And he's wrecking those action scenes.
Yeah. Well, there's a phrase. I don't know if we're allowed to say this, but the black don't crack.
He looks amazing, and he's killing it.
Some people adopt a moisturizing routine at a very young age and take good care of their skin.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Corlys Velaryon and the man who plays him. So it's a good season. If you're not watching it, by the time this episode drops, they'll be mostly out, maybe partially.
How many episodes is it?
Probably 8.
Yeah, it'll be well on its way towards the maybe not quite to the season finale.
Check it out.
Yeah, cool.
So let's roll for initiative. 12.
3, you go first.
All right, so what's my favorite Cronenberg movie?
Scanners.
Man, you're close, because that was my number 2. It actually came down to between Scanners and Eastern Promises.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Oh, man.
I can see that.
If you've never seen Eastern Promises, 2001, 2007, this is a gangster crime thriller. This is directed by David Cronenberg, written by Stephen Knight. And Stephen Knight later went on to write Peaky Blinders, and it kind of has that sort of gangster vibe. If you've ever watched Peaky Blinders, it's pretty good. And this movie is awesome. He plays a Russian, a member of the Russian mafia who is actually like a double agent, and Viggo Mortensen just absolutely kills it in this movie. This role is so good. The drama is awesome. The tension that's built is just palpable. But the dark, gritty violence in this movie is absolutely visceral. This is so darkness. Like, I was thinking, like, how do I even describe this? This is the ultra violence.
Yeah.
Because this is not a fight scene that is flashy like the movies. This is a fight scene like getting cut with a hook knife in a bathhouse when you're naked.
Yeah.
It's absolutely brutal.
Yeah, there's intense male nudity in this movie.
Yeah,
also.
Whatever. Everyone's seen a dick. It's not. So this is a stellar performance by Viggo Mortensen. And the pacing is tight. I mean, the Cronenberg keeps it popping, and Viggo Mortensen got an Oscar nomination for this role, and it was it remains, you know, between Nikolai, his character, and Strider, Aragorn. It's hard to decide who would win in a fight there. Probably Aragorn. Probably. But, you know,
he has the magic sword.
Yeah, Nikolai is just a beast. I absolutely love this movie. But Scanners, that was also really good too. That was close.
In the running. Good. Okay, you did. I did not get it right.
No, you were close. But so what about you? What are you pulling out of the vault?
I'm pulling out a relatively recent comic book series, and I already mentioned some stuff from this comic book line, the Absolute line from DC with their sort of reimagining of classic characters. But one just recently came out, and it'll be, you know, 3 or 4 issues deep by the time this episode drops. And it's a sort of a horror slasher interpretation of a classic superhero character. And that's Absolute Green Arrow by Pornsek Piche Shote and Raphael Albuquerque. Pornsek is the writer and Raphael Albuquerque is the artist. And it's like a slasher take on the Green Arrow.
So he's a slasher.
Yes.
Okay.
The Green Arrow is like the Leatherface, and he's hunting billionaires.
Okay, that's poignant.
Yeah. And so essentially Oliver Queen, who we know in our standard DC universe is the Green Arrow, was mysteriously murdered. He was a tech billionaire that had started this stock trading app called Green Arrow. And then he mysteriously showed up dead. And now there is this serial killer who is going around and killing billionaires, starting with his with Oliver Queen's business partner, and murdering them with green arrows.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
And it is gnarly. Like, it's the arrows are like poison tipped, and so there's a body horror element. Like when he shoots someone with the green arrow, they break out in these gnarly boils and stuff, and like they're like Ebola arrows or something. Like they're really gnarly. And there's just one issue out of this, but it was really like a 10 out of 10 perfect first issue. Like, it's this sort of thing, like you read, it does exactly what the first issue of a comic book should do, where you're like, oh, when's the next one? Next month, hurry up so I can read the next one. And see
monthly is hard.
Yeah, see what happens next. But by the time this episode comes out, you know, we're probably getting close to the first collection getting out there. But right now, I've just read the first issue, and like so many of these Absolute books from DC, like they're just killing it. They're
Is Absolute just like the Temu version of Ultimate?
Well, sort of, but it's not like, if you go back and read those Ultimate comics from the 2000s, they haven't aged great. Like, they're very sort of edgelordy.
I call that a good thing, though.
Yeah. This is a different... Like, these are edgy, but in a different way than Ultimate.
They're just darker.
Yeah, but more, like, conscious. Not darkness for the sake of darkness. Like, they're saying interesting things. Okay. And they're speaking to the moment. In the same way that the Ultimate Comics really spoke to the Bush era.
Yeah.
You know, these are...
The good old days?
The good old days. Now it feels like the good old days. These speak to the era that we're in now, these Absolute comics, in the very similar way. I imagine they'll hold the test of time better, but who knows, in 20 years, we might have entirely different sensibilities, and we look back on this and be like, actually, that's very cringe now, and this is the new hotness.
Yeah.
But right now, Absolute Green Arrow just is great, and it's very, you know, it felt relevant because of the slasher lens that they're putting on it.
That makes sense, and everybody these days hates billionaires. That's just a thing.
Yeah, so it's the character, like what in the past would be the villain of the story becomes the lead character of a story. It's an interesting thing. It's like there's a generation gap between how people reacted to the Luigi Mangione thing.
Oh yeah,
where like, you know, a lot of older people are like, oh, that's horrible. Why would someone do that? And then other people are like cheering it.
Yeah,
because, you know, we look at these people that deny health insurance to people in need as villains.
Yeah.
So a murderer becomes a vigilante. It's a very thin line there. Yeah. So anyways, Absolute Green Lantern, Pitchet Chote, and Albuquerque.
We'd like to thank you for joining the Nightshade Cult.
And until we meet again, we're wishing you unpleasant dreams.